Hey, what up everyone? I'm Sinnycool, and this is Gems of War.
And today I want to go over a couple ways you can manipulate the AI in a battle, to predict what they're going to do next and to like get ahead in a battle. Let me do this real quick though. We're doing arena. I'm hoping to show you some of this stuff, but if not, I'll just explain it. I've shown it before. It was like a couple live streams ago. It just happened in the video, but it was like right in the middle of it. Instead of clipping that out, I'm just going to make a video. But yeah, I'll show you in a second, but let's pick some troops here. Maybe you can get something out of this as well. Deal 9 damage to an enemy, boosted by enemy beasts and lycanthropy gems. Have the magic of the strongest enemy. No. 10 damage, create a light storm. I think I'm going to go with Eichel. We got Fungomancer, 10 damage to an enemy. Explode 4 gems, steal 4 attack. I think this is going to be good. And Executioner, 8 damage, 10% chance to execute. I've done many videos on Arena, by the way, if you want to look that up, and like how to pick and how to... a bunch of stuff. 8 damage if you kill, you do it 2 elemental stars. That's kind of fun. I used that troop before. Gain an extra turn. Half mana. That's pretty cool. So we already have green and red, so bye-bye Executioner. We don't want you. So I'm either going to do Fireborn, Eagle, or Goblet. And I do have an Explosion already. Fireborn Eagle's kind of fun because it makes those elemental stars. I might go with that. And then out of these three, this is pretty good. It can loop a little bit, but Goblin has an extra turn, and it looks like he has slightly more durability. So I'm gonna go with Goblin, and he has less mana cost. But that other troop's not bad. So this is our team. Go check out my live stream yesterday if you want to see the chat pick the worst team for me. I let them vote on the troops and pick the worst ones, and then I used them in the arena and tried to win. Go check that out. That was like the second half of the live stream yesterday. The first half was Guild Wars on Bracket 2. Bracket 2. Alright, so Goblin, probably going to have to be our tank, because he uses only green, but I don't know, we'll see. Yellow. You just kind of don't want a mana block here. It's your main thing. Ocular and Leech. He steals 4 attacks, so I think I want him right there. And then Eichel or Fireborn Eagle. Which one do we not want to die? I think Eichel. Alright, let's go with this. And I'm going to explain to you how to manipulate the AI while we do the arena. Hopefully it pops up while we're doing this, but if not, then hey, I think I can explain it to you without it popping up. But the first thing I want to tell you, there's at least 2 things I can tell you how to manipulate the AI. And if you don't know this, you're not just going to do it by accident. So you have to know this to do this most of the time. Maybe you'll do it by accident every once in a while, but you pretty much have to know how to do this to be able to take advantage of it. But the first thing is called skull baiting. And the one after this, if you've heard of skull baiting, you might not have heard of the other one, so stay tuned. Skull baiting. So what that means is, we could do it right here, but I don't really want to get hit that hard. Skull baiting is like, whenever there's a skull match on the board, like right now, instead of taking those skulls, we take other mana. So I would take like this yellow here or something, which I don't need. Well, I do need for the Fireborn Eagle, but yeah, skull baiting is like, whenever there's skulls on the board, the AI will prioritize that skull match over anything else 90-something% of the time. Every once in a while, they look smart and they don't take your skull bait. But 90-something% of the time, you can count on them always taking the skulls if you leave them on the board. So, like, I would take this yellow here, and they would take those skulls. I don't want to do that because he's going to hit the crap out of my Goblin. And I'm going to just, like, Goblin and then take that and, like, do a ton of damage to his first guy. But, if I was in that situation, let's say the enemy over here, this guy... let's say he's entangled or something, right? So, or he has 0 attack, like he's a gate or whatever they're called. There's a few troops in the game that have 0 attack, or you've just debuffed them down to 0 attack or something. Like, for some reason, them doing skulls won't hurt you that bad. Maybe you have a barrier. Maybe they're entangled. Maybe they have 0 attack. Maybe it's an extra turn and they're frozen. There's a lot of reasons why you would want them to take skulls. Maybe you just have so much durability on your troop and he has like 70% skull mitigation or something. Like, there's a lot of reasons why you would let the enemy have the skulls while you're taking mana and getting ahead in the battle, right? So it's called skull baiting. Anytime there's a skull match on the board, as long as you don't mess it up by taking some mana that messes up the skulls, you can generally count on them like 95% of the time. The next turn, they're going to take the skulls. So that's the first tip I want to give you, how to manipulate the AI. It'll help a lot, especially when they're entangled, or they have 0 attack, or you have barrier, or you have like super high skull mitigation. Those will be the times when it's going to help a lot. And it's nice to know exactly what the enemy's going to do the very next turn, because you can take mana this turn. You know they're going to take skulls the next turn, bang up against your barrier. They're entangled, it's a waste of a turn. Then you get to do another turn. So it's kind of like you do 2 turns while they do nothing, right? So let's do Goblin. Then the skulls do ton of damage. And then we have 10 damage, create a Light Storm. Which I don't want to waste all that on Sir Alamir, so I'll cast it on like the second guy. But the other way you can manipulate the AI, which I don't know if I can do it here. Maybe it'll come up in a minute, but let's do, yeah, this is purple into yellow. But anyway, the second way you can manipulate the AI in this game, there's probably other ways, but these are the main 2 that I thought of, is when they have a spell up, and this is particularly effective when it's like Zul'Goth, you know, because Zul'Goth's going to instant kill whenever he casts, right? So when they have a spell up and it's your turn, right? And you know this guy, he's going to cast next turn. Let's say he's Zul'Goth. Let's just say this guy is Zul'Goth for this the purposes of this educational purposes right here. He's Zul'Goth, right? He has his full mana. You're like, oh crap, he's going to cast. I just don't want him to hit my hero. I just don't want him to hit my Wild Queen. Just please don't hit, you know, one of your troops. High King Irongut or whatever. You just don't want them to hit, like, Queen Beatrix, your best troop, right? So what you can do is you can manipulate the AI into hitting a troop you want it to hit instead of, like, your best troop. Now, it's situational because you have to get full mana on one of your troops. And the way it worked for me most of the time is like a team where I have Leprechaun or something at the bottom, an empowered exploder or converter, and I had already used it in the battle. We're later on in the battle. They get their Zul'Goth up. It's my turn. My Leprechaun's really close to getting back up, and he's not totally mana blocked, right? So what I'll do is I'll get my Leprechaun up with purple or something, and then I know on the next turn they're going to kill my Leprechaun. The AI, 95% of the time again. Now, if it doesn't happen once every, 10 battles, once every 10 times or something, it might not go like this because, I don't know, sometimes you can't 100% predict the AIs, what they're going to do. Like, you can't manipulate them 100% of the time. But this is like 9 out of 10, 19 out of 20, 95 out of 100 times. It's going to work. But you can, if they have their Zul'Goth up, you can manipulate them to attack who you want them to attack. The only thing is you have to get full mana on what you want them to attack. So it's really situational, but it does work. And Zul'Goth might not be the best example. He's just like the most pressing example, like it's the best example I can think of because he's going to instant kill something and you don't want him to instant kill certain things. So you get up your Leprechaun or whatever, and he will instant kill your Leprechaun. They always prioritize something with full mana. So maybe it's a different troop. What's a high single target like troop that's going to hit you really hard with single target damage? Let's just say even High King Irongut or something. Like if he has full mana, he's usually going to target something with full mana. So you can get up your Leprechaun, you can get up your Empowered Converter, you can get up something like you don't care about as much as like your other 3 troops, and that they will target that. Zul'Goth's kind of like, it's a really good example, but also he's going to create a bunch of skulls and like kill your first, but that's better than him killing your best troop and then creating a bunch of skulls and killing your tank. Like I'd rather have him instant kill my Leprechaun and then maybe kill my tank, but yeah, that's the 2 ways you can manipulate the AI in this game. There's probably more ways, put it in the comments. But skull baiting, which just means there's a skull match on the board, you intentionally don't take it because you want the enemy to take it, whether they're entangled or you're barriered or you have a really high skull mitigation or they have 0 attack or whatever. And then you pretty much get 2 turns in a row while they do nothing. The other way is when the enemy has full mana and they're about to cast a spell on you. A way to avoid them hitting your best troop is just to get up a troop you don't care about as much. And it's really situational because you have to have enough mana already. You have to have a match on the board that can do it. But it does work occasionally. Like I've had it happen with Zul'Goth and Leprechaun. My Leprechaun and their Zul'Goth. So I had 4 troops. Nobody was up. I got up my Leprechaun. I predicted that Zul'Goth would kill my Leprechaun. It did it like every single time. So anytime like those two situations come around, make sure you manipulate the AI. You know, skull bait them, and if their spell is up, get up your worst troop if you can, and they will 100% of the time, well 95% of the time, attack the troop that is full mana. Especially if they're going to kill it, you know, like with Zul'Goth. But yeah, you definitely want to be doing this, especially in Arena and like Guild Wars and stuff. And wow, I just died, but I was still going to win for sure. But yeah, like Guild Wars, Arena, both going on right now. It's very important to manipulate the AI anytime you can. It's not a real player playing the game. It's the artificial intelligence. So that's one way you can get a leg up on the AI, is to manipulate it. And you're pretty much predicting what it's going to do. You're kind of telling it what to do and forcing it to do something you want it to do, instead of just like, oh, Zul'Goth kills my hero, Zul'Goth kills my best troop, or I take the skulls and then they take mana and blah, blah, blah. Like, I'd rather let them have the skulls in certain situations. I'd rather have them kill my worst troop in certain situations by getting full mana and stuff like that. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Like, share, subscribe, consider joining. It helps a lot. Tell your good about the channel, comment below, and I'll see y'all tomorrow for the spoiler video. And also, I have an EverQuest probably coming out before this, so make sure you check that out as well. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You're the best. Peace out.